Welcome back to The Race. I'm Chris Stewart, and we're here at the Olmsted Locks and Dam project, which is on the Ohio River, one of the busiest shipping lanes in America. But when we talk about infrastructure, it's not just about what's happening here, but also what's happening in the air. You know, air cargo, commercial travel, that's really what keeps an airport in business. And Nicole Vowell flew out of New York's LaGuardia Airport and has a look at an airport many people consider in need of some improvement.
More than 2 million people take to the skies every single day in the U.S. And the most domestic travelers fly through here, LaGuardia Airport, one of the busiest in the country.
This is a major hub.
Also, when I say LaGuardia Airport, what's the first word that comes to mind?
Worst airport in the country.
You heard it.
It's a mess.
Oh, this is New York's airport? Like, really? But it's just kind of ugly.
From appearance.
The airport is the welcome mat to the city, and your first impressions are kind of a letdown.
Everything around isn't really intuitive.
To efficiency.
I can't ever think of a time where I actually wasn't late leaving LaGuardia.
Maybe some newer infrastructure.
Travelers expect more for their money.
Next time I have to fly out, I'm going to use JFK.
It is a good day.
Almost exactly 1 year ago, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced an $8 million overhaul at LaGuardia, stressing the importance of airport infrastructure as a whole.
And you have beautiful airports being built all around the globe. Korea, Munich, Dubai, Hong Kong, magnificent structures. And for decades, this nation has done nothing.
The last major airport rebuild in the U.S. was at Denver International more than 20 years ago. This traveler hotspot is up next. Improvements are already underway, expected to be done by 2021. These passengers say that day can't come soon enough.
For the amount of flights that are coming in and out, it's just way too small.
And it seems whether you're flying to reunite with family, on business or leisure, airport infrastructure is a top priority.
We have to invest in infrastructure. We're falling behind.
Not just for politicians, for regular people too.
Better management, better priorities, the right people to understand what aviation is all about.
For The Race, I'm Nicole Vowell.
Well, another important part of our infrastructure is our sewer and pipe system. More than 4 years ago, Flint, Michigan changed its water source. We would learn months later that water was loaded with lead, among other things that make people sick. Annie Taylor taking a look at where we now stand on the Flint water crisis.
This week, a judge decided Michigan's top health official would stand trial for manslaughter for his role in the Flint water crisis. Michigan's Director of Health and Human Services, Nick Lyon, is accused of not warning people early enough about bacteria in the water that causes Legionnaire's disease. He's one of more than a dozen current and former state and local officials facing charges in connection to the situation in Flint. Back in April, the governor said that the water quality was finally restored. However, bottled water giveaways are still ongoing in Flint, with people lining up to take advantage of clean water. I'm Annie Taylor for The Race.
You're taking a look at the Olmsted Locks and Dam project here on the Ohio River, a $3 billion infrastructure project. Now, there are so many issues that matter to people that determine their votes come the November midterm elections. But when we talk about infrastructure, we wanted to know why it's important to you, and we hit the streets to find out.
The funding has to go towards it, the projects need to happen, and people need to make sure that the projects are happening and getting done on time.
It's absolutely funding and making sure the jobs are done right. You could go around and fix potholes and do it a way where in 5 years it's going to need to be done all over again.
Incentivizing public transportation, walking, biking, living close to where you work, and not having to rely on highways and cars. I don't blame people for just relying on the kind of suburban getting in a car and driving model in the U.S. because that's what's been incentivized.
What they should do is they should open up the weigh stations, they should start taxing the heavy trucks that come in, and instead of ripping off the taxpayers, they should hit those the hardest and then pay the money back to the infrastructure.
Tax cars if you want to fix roads, tax gas.
It falls on the taxpayer, and that's what we're paying for. And where is it going?
Much more still ahead. Stick with us. You're watching The Race.